Make them riot. Trump is fucked. A federal judge in Washington, D.C. released the most comprehensive narrative to date of the 2020 election conspiracy case against Donald Trump, outlining what special counsel Jack Smith describes as the former president's private criminal conduct, unquote. The 165-page document comes from Smith's office and is the fullest accounting of yet evidence in the election subversion case against Trump. Make them riot. Trump is fucked. You're probably wondering why I'm repeating that phrase, make them riot. Well, let's talk about it. Prosecutors describe an effort by Trump operatives to create chaos in the immediate aftermath of the 2020 election when the voting looked to be going for Joe Biden, i.e., when Donald Trump lost to Joe Biden. Prosecutors allege that campaign operatives sought to create confrontations at polling places and then, quoting the indictment, falsely claimed that his election observers were being denied proper access as a predicate to claim fraud, which means they fucking lied. Make them riot. Trump is fucked. Trump also allegedly told his family members, it doesn't matter if you won or lost the election, you still got to fight like hell. Actually, Trump, it does matter because you lost the election. Now, this is coming from a witness who on board Marine One, the presidential helicopter, said that the then president made that statement to his wife Melania, his wife who he wants to sleep with, Ivanka, and her son and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. And before I move on with this, I think I should mention that the fact is, every witness that Jack Smith is talking about happens to be a Republican, not a Democrat trying to muddy the waters against Trump, but a Republican. Make them riot. Trump is fucked. Now, we already know that Donald Trump was planning on declaring victory regardless if he won or lost in the 2020 election. Excuse me. However, that's added into this whole thing with Jack Smith's. Now, if you actually picked up read the brief by Jack Smith, you'll notice that a lot of the names are missing. They're identified as P1, P2, P9, whatever, mainly because of anonymity to protect their identities. But this one, oh boy, this is just pretty bad. A White House staffer identified as P9 showed that Donald Trump had full knowledge of the fake electors scam in numerous states that he lost, including Georgia and Pennsylvania. Make them riot. Trump is fucked. Prosecutors also said they would call in election officials in battleground states at the Trump trial. Now, to have the trial, Donald Trump must lose the election, but more on that in a few minutes. Now, here's something that could damage him forever. We already know that he called Brad Raffensperger in the hopes of gaining votes to swing the election back towards him in Georgia. But apparently, according to this, he wasn't the only person that Trump called or someone on Trump's staff called. In this particular case, his chief of staff trying to call election officials in multiple battleground states. Now, that's not all of this, that's in the Jack Smith brief, but it's enough to hang Trump if this goes to trial. Make them riot. Trump is fucked. Now, the only way to seize trial is if Donald Trump loses the election. And we need to make sure that happens. Now, Kamala Harris may be resurging in the polls, but that doesn't mean we can get complacent. Because believe you me, Donald Trump and his people are going to work overtime to counter all of this. And if they do, Trump could possibly get back into the White House, and all hell will break loose in this country. He has already made it clear. J.D. Vance has already made it clear. His supporters in and out of the Congress and Senate have made it clear. The MAGA, the rank and file MAGA on the streets have made it clear. Donald Trump cannot be allowed to retain the presidency again. This in itself should end Donald Trump's presidential aspirations. But right now, we have to do our job. Make a plan to vote. If you have to take off a day of work to do so, do so. This election is too important to sit on the sidelines, because doing that means a despot takes power. And God help any of us if that happens. God help the world if that happens. This is just a small sample as to what kind of a criminal Donald Trump is. He knew he lost the election, and he did everything he could to stay in power. Now it's time to rebuke him once and for all. Make them riot. Trump is fucked. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right. Fight with our votes.